understand that this video was posted in like 2008, 9, something like that, and at the time, a school in Alaska was like, no, we shouldn't teach Looking for Alaska. But now it's 2013, and last year in May, schools in Tennessee were like, this book has sexual content. It shouldn't be taught, it shouldn't be read, it shouldn't be in the public schools at all, pretty much. And I think that sexual content is a bunch of malarkey, because I read the scene for a research paper that I'm doing about how banning books in public schools is not a good thing, and it was so not hot. I was not aroused. At all. And I took this opposition to my dear friend Katelyn, and I was like, Katelyn, you've read every John Green book. You've read, like, every book under the sun before I even knew it was a book, 'cause you're Katelyn. You read all the time. Were you aroused by this scene and Looking for Alaska? And she goes, no, Amanda. No, I wasn't. And I was like, let's do an interview, Katie. So that's what's happening right now.
Hello.
This is Katie.
I'm Katie.
Would you go so far as to say that John Green's point about this scene in the book is in fact valid? That it's not sexy? It's very
unsexy. I would go so far to say as it turned me off. It was awkward and it was weird, and I pretty much immediately threw the book across the room, not in offense to John Green, but in an offense to, oh my god, that was so awkward, I'm so weirded out right now.
I personally read the scene in school, in the middle of class, and my cheeks were red with like a secondhand embarrassment, like, OMG, this is the most awkward situation I've ever had on the face of the planet.
It's humiliating, I would go to say, and it really shows, like, that sex isn't all that we make it out to be, and we shouldn't put so much power into the idea of sex, because it just gives it power, and we let it stop us from having an emotional connection with people. So
earlier, we were chatting about this issue, and you said something about the fantasies that people can bring up on their new age, their 21st century devices.
Yes. Well, we all know about the porn industry. Everything, you can find anything on the internet, and almost every single teenager I know has a laptop for their own personal use that is not monitored by their parents.
So look sexier stuff up on the internet.
Yeah, and even go as far to beyond that, kids have sex with other teens, and I've known my mom as a teacher, and she taught 7th grade, and 2 or 3 of her students got pregnant in the 7th grade.
Some crazy, interesting, things happening here.
Statistics.
In 2011, according to www.cdc.gov/teen pregnancy /about teen pregnancy.htm, in 2011, a total of 329,797 babies were born to women aged 15 to 19 years. A lot.
You know what makes babies, right?
Look at it. The U.S., according to a teen health website about teen pregnancy, the U.S. has twice the teen pregnancy rate that Canada has, and Canada's literacy statistics are 42% of Canadian adults between the ages of 16 and 65 have low literacy skills.
I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm a virgin. I've remained entirely abstinent, and I'm one of very many that have read that book and say, hey, that sounds awkward. I'm not going to get myself into that situation. So the two are not connected, and therefore it should not be banned, because it's irrelevant to that scene in the broad aspect of the book.
Along with exactly what John Green was trying to get. And as John Green put it in his own words on his website with questions that contain spoilers about Looking for Alaska, it's important to the emotional arc of the story. Without it, your story's like,
You have to have something surprising so that you
I
get
mean,
your character's interest, your reader's interest.
and to make it feel realistic. I don't feel John Green's in the wrong.
Maybe there's something out there that might be a bit outrageous to say.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Has not been challenged or banned yet.
Kids with cancer.
Sorry.
This book has kids with cancer in it. I'm not getting cancer by reading it. I hope not. I hope books don't cause cancer. So, I think it's safe to say that I'm not going to have sex just because I read sex scene in a book. I read cancer scenes in this book. Am I going to get cancer? No, I'm not. Also by John Green.
There are impressionable teens out there. I'm digressing and going back to a subject. But, I mean, one of the women who belonged to Sumner County in Tennessee, who completely agreed with her school district's choice to ban the book. By the way, it's pretty much wrong and illegal for a school district or a school official to ban a book, in case you cared. She said that it was okay because there are impressionable teens. But the majority of impressionable teens, at least the ones that I have seen, though I can find no actual hardback, bound or written, published information that there's a correlation between this, but most of the easily impressionable teens are not going to read a book that is as ridiculously amazing in its works as John Green's Looking for Alaska. Most of these people are going to pick up the book and then put the book down because it's too difficult to read because they're real-life emotional situations. These are the people who couldn't finish Harry Potter. Mm-hmm. Especially teen children, which is probably where John Green was aiming for this book for the lower bar, though he wanted it to have a more wide-arcing audience. I mean, teenage children with television alone are exposed to more violence and danger and sex than you're going to be exposed to in this book. Two teeny tiny scenes, one of which was making out and ended in a paragraph that said that they didn't even touch parts nudely, to put it like a 3-year-old. I mean, really.
Yeah.
Really.
Okay, let's perspectives. Okay. You played the part of someone who's had sex.
Okay.
And I'll play the part of someone who's never had sex, never really partied that hardcore. Okay.
Okay.
You read this book. Are you emotionally attached to it from your experiences?
Yes.
I read this book. I'm pretty emotionally attached. I haven't had those experiences. I get to live vicariously through it and therefore less danger. You get to understand how other people can react to you.
Yes.
Good for both of us.
And I relive the mistakes that I may or may not have made through having sex at a young age.
And you get to learn from your experience as well from this book.
Without reliving the trauma.
Exactly.
Well, it's been great, John. We'll see you Monday.
I hope you're somewhere warm and bright, like the flowers in